All right, it's August 13th, 2020, and we're here in the Chakiris household to interview Lois Chakiris for the Historical Society. And we're going to ask her a few questions. Lois, when did you move to Jermyn? Do you remember?
Do I remember? No, I don't remember when.
Did you go to school in Jermyn?
My Aunt Katie lived here. And I guess we must have moved in with her.
Okay.
And I stayed on the back porch.
Okay.
That's all I remember, really.
Yeah.
You know,
Your mother and father's name?
my mom and dad's name,
Yep.
Frank Van Boozer.
Yep. And your mother's name?
Mildred.
And Mildred. And they lived right next door, didn't they?
Pardon?
They lived right next door for a while.
Not next door, but the
one
next
after.
door.
They're not alive.
Okay. And then, do you have any sisters and brothers?
Do I?
Did you? Yeah.
Well, I guess I have a brother, Donald.
Did you have any other sisters or brothers that passed away? Any other ones?
Do I? No.
No. Did you go to school in Jermyn? No.
No. I went Scott.
Scott. And your husband was Peter.
Mm-hmm.
When did you get married?
I don't know.
Okay. And you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 children? Am I right?
You're right.
6 children. And what do you remember about when you moved here growing up? Like, where did you go for shopping? Do you remember any of the stores in town? Candy stores?
The drugstore. And then the little store next to it. In the alley way. Then the 5 and 10 cent store. And then Allen's store. That used to go up the steps.
Yeah. Remember any of the grocery stores like Young's?
Yeah. Isn't that awful? I can't think of his name.
Alvin Young?
Huh?
Alvin Young?
Yeah.
Were there any other stores around here?
Wasn't there a little store across the street from the high school?
On the corner. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't, it was the candy store, I think, little candy store.
Yes, something.
When you moved here, was there still like a greenhouse or anything here when you moved here, or was that already gone?
Where?
There was like a greenhouse. There used to be a big greenhouse from here that way before
No,
you.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember that? Because that was in the 1800s and early 1900s, and I'm trying to find out when it went away.
Oh.
But it wasn't here when you moved here.
No. Mm-mm.
Okay. So you went to Scott High School. Where did Peter go to school, do you know?
Pardon?
Your husband Peter, where did he go to school?
Who?
Your husband Pete,
Yeah.
where did he go to school?
Scranton.
Scranton?
When he went.
When he went to school, okay. When did you move into this house? You moved into this house with your aunt, you said? Your aunt lived here?
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, this was Aunt Katie's house.
Okay.
Catherine Moore.
Catherine, what's the last name?
Moore.
Moore.
M-O-O-R-E.
Oh, Catherine Moore. Okay. That's right. I knew you were related to the Moores. I forgot that. Yeah. Okay. Did you remember anything about the war, the World War II? Do you remember anything about that?
About what?
The war, World War II, the big war?
The big...
War. World War II, when they were fighting against the Germans and the Japanese? No?
Not really.
Don't remember much about that?
I suppose I didn't forget it. I have a great memory.
Well, what do you remember about the church? I know you're a member of the church. When did you start going to the church?
The church?
Yeah, the Methodist.
Oh, God. I can't remember. It's so long ago.
Yeah. Did you go to Sunday school there?
Yeah, and I went to Sunday school there and had a class, but that's been so long ago.
Yeah.
And my dad was superintendent, I think.
Did they ever talk about their parents? Do you remember any stories about your grandparents? Do you remember any of them or no?
No, not really. I mean, I sang in the choir, and that was, where the choir was.
Yeah.
In the back row. I can't think of anything else.
How about your grandparents? Do you remember anything about them?
My grandparents are in Archibald.
They were from Archibald?
Yeah.
Do you remember their names?
Schoich.
Schoich?
S-C-H-U-C-H.
Okay. Did they work in the mines? Your grandfather? No.
My grandfather worked in, as you go up that long road and turn under that bridge, there's a couple houses there.
Up by the bowling alley?
In Mayfield.
Yeah.
Yeah. He worked up there. And what's there?
Okay.
Yeah, that's all I remember.
Okay. Do you remember going to the lakes or going swimming, or do you remember who were any of your friends when you were younger?
Oh, Chapman Lake. Used to go up swimming,
Yeah.
and it was that spot, that was a public.
The beach, yeah. Yeah.
So we used to go there, and I'd get the kids, pile them in the car, and we'd go.
Yeah. Who were some of your friends when you were growing up, when you were young? You remember any of your friends that you hung around with and played with?
Mm-mm. I can't remember any of them offhand,
Yeah.
Okay.
But
How about the ones in Justice, Mom?
Billy?
what, hon?
How about the ones up in Justice?
Well, Irene Gus, since she lived across the street, catty corners from me. and Magus lives there. That's what we used to call her, Magus.
Where did you live up there in Scott Township?
In where?
When in Scott Township? Where did you live?
Yeah,
up?
that's Scott Township.
Yeah, where did you live there? Where about?
On the corner.
Right across from Corky's.
Yeah, Justice.
Now-
Oh, Justice,
Oh, yeah.
Justice
First-
Corners. Okay.
Yeah, but first I lived down by the Methodist Church, alongside of it.
Mount Bethel Church, all right?
Okay, yeah, Mount Bethel's down farther.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Do you have anything you think we should ask that we didn't ask?
Do you remember any mine accidents up here? Like any disasters that happened?
Any what?
Any accidents in the mines?
The mines?
Yeah, anything about the mines? Any cave-ins?
Well, my dad worked in the mines.
Okay, what
and
mine?
he
He was a fire boss.
injured his thumb. Was it?
He was a fire boss, your dad.
Okay.
Yeah.
He checked for gases in the morning and stuff.
Oh,
Okay.
And he was in an explosion, actually,
where?
by himself. I think he worked out of the Elephant Colliery.
Oh, okay, wow.
And then her grandfather, I think, worked in the Carbondale Breaker, or
Yeah,
uncle.
that's what she
He
said.
ran
Her,
it?
her grandfather, she said, worked up there. Yeah.
And then her grandmother's sister's husband also worked there. And he was also a constable, Arthur Seymour. He was out of Oliphant, Blakely, Peckville.
He was a what now? Constable?
Yeah, yeah.
And who was that? Her uncle?
That would have been her grandmother's sister's husband. And he was also a constable back in his day. He
We
still
should-
had his billy club upstairs and his pistol.
Yeah. We should be interviewing you.
Yeah, really.
Do you remember anything else that we should hit on with her, or I don't? I mean, it's
Yeah. Well, she'll talk you back in the past if you start talking about Archibald and her family back in there, because they had a horse and he used to walk them from
Really?
Oliphant at the Anchor, where her grandfather owned the bowling alley there, which was Cedar Bicycle Shop.
grandfather owned the bowling alley.
Yeah, at the Anchor down there in Blakely, that would be, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your grandfather owned a bowling alley, huh?
Pardon?
You said your grandfather owned a bowling alley?
Oh, yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, it was the first one in the valley
Wow.
that he owned. There were 4 alleys in it.
In a bar.
And probably the pin boys too, right? To pick up the pins.
Well, Mom was a pin center.
Really? You were a pin setter?
You remember
That
any?
was Grandpa's,
Yeah. When she
well,
was a
I
little girl,
guess
she used to set
pride and
pins.
joy,
Ah,
you know,
yeah.
keeping it
She
shine.
lived right across the street for a little bit.
You worked there too?
Did I work there? Yeah, I was down in the pits.
She was a pin girl. Well, that's good to know. That's good to know. And that would have been what grandfather? That would have been that one you talked about, the SCHUCH?
Pardon?
Schweik,
Shoik? Is that the grandfather that owned it?
I think
Who?
it was.
Your grandfather Shoik?
No,
No?
no, it was Van Duzer.
Okay.
I recognize that name from Archibald.
Yeah, Grandpa
Van
Van
Duzer.
Duzer had the bull.
There are also Van Duzens around, too.
You lived
Oh,
in
really?
you
Yeah.
lived in Archibald for a while?
I'm not sure, but there was a connection with Archibald.
Her grandma
My
lived in Archibald.
Grandma and Grandpa lived over on, what's the street before the railroad tracks?
It runs along with the railroad.
Cherry
track.
Street?
Cherry?
Cherry.
Cherry? Cherry Street?
Yeah, They lived in a big brown house on Cherry Street.
Yeah, it's kind of like a
Next
house like
to-
this, like sideways.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What part of Cherry Street do you remember? It's down by the train station?
towards the train station. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
You said they had horses there?
I had a pony in the backyard.
You had a pony?
In Archibald? Wow.
Actually, when I lived there, I was there 14 years, and a woman behind me, Virginia, she grew up in the house I bought, actually, when she was a kid, and they had all chickens and cows and everything right up there on Cemetery Road. You know?
Yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah, it was kind of like farmland, suburbia, in a sense, you know, back in that day.
I used to live at 113 Cemetery Street, way down the bottom of
Oh, yeah?
Stump Field, yeah, until I was her age, 5 years old, and we moved out.
Anything else you remember, you can think about growing up that you want to tell us about, or anything exciting happened? And
Yeah, don't do that, honey. Yes. Gosh, I can't think of
How
anything.
about when you and your dad used to walk the horse to get a shot down there?
What?
How about when you and dad used to, you and your father used to take the horse down the old dirt road?
From Archibald, yeah, down to the,
Spiky feet on the carpet in the window.
Blacksmith
what do you
shop.
call them?
Blacksmith shop.
Behind Grandpa Van Doozer's garage and barn.
Right. So you used to walk them from Archibald down to there.
so all the way down to Oliphant then, huh?
Wow.
Yeah. And that probably would have been, wow. And she was on your girl, a little
Yeah.
littler girl then.
All right, you know what?
How old were you then, Mom?
You guys are finished. I'll get her accent. Do you want to go outside with Spike?
I don't think she heard me.
No.
No. How old were you then, Mom?
Huh?
How old were you then?
How old
Yeah.
am I?
No.
No, then. When
How
you used
old
to-
were you when you had the horses? When you walked the horses?
God, I can't remember that,
Okay.
Yeah.
really.
Okay.
You've been living here, what, since like 70, or yeah, 52 maybe?
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 years before I was born.
Yeah, I was born in 56.
I was
Twins
born-
were born here.
I was on the corner
We
since.
had the
53.
horses up by Grandma Antone.
Yeah,
She lived across from us in the country.
yeah, up in
By
Justice,
the
yeah.
church and then our house and
Oh, okay.
across the road.
Up by the Whites there, right?
It was Grandma's.
Yeah. That was up by the Whites, right? I remember going to their house.
By the lake?
By
No.
the Whites.
Is it by the White family?
The White
The
family?
Whites lived up there? No.
Not that I know.
No, they had the pond down behind the house. I thought they were a white. No.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Well, she's been my neighbor since 1953, but I don't remember it. That's when I was born.
Yeah.
But I lived right on
Yeah.
the corner.
I guess she saw you when you were,
Yeah.
Good neighborhood, though.
Well,
Real good neighborhood.
her daughter Susan and I went to school together.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, Susan and I were in the same class.
Oh. Well, let's see. Susan is where?
Mississippi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Pam was 2 years older. Pam went to
And-
school with my brother.
Pam is,
She's in Idaho.
wow.
And then Mark's in Rhode Island.
Mark's in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
Wow, to spread all over.
gosh,
Yeah. Bud's in Lake Ariel. Or
the
Barton.
girls
actually.
are gone on me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Susan, Mississippi.
And then
Here, you got that Heather you missed.
I
Heather.
miss Heather. Heather
You missed
just moved
Heather.
back to Albany, just like last week, out of
Alba-
California.
Albany, New York?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, she had a job out with UCLA, California, and
Okay.
I really don't know what she did. You?
So,
Like marketing of some
so
sort.
you and Bud are the only two around here then.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I don't know. You got anything else you think we got to touch on? I mean, she don't remember a lot of the stores.
Yeah.
I thought she said her friend owned Montdale Dairy.
Yeah.
Your friend owned Montdale Dairy?
Pardon?
Did your friend own Montdale Dairy?
Montdale Dairy. They said your friend owned Montdale.
Yeah, Billy Popovich.
Billy-
Popovich, yes, yes.
So that was one of her best friends growing up.
Hmm.
I knew him. I knew him well.
You know him?
Still the best.
You've known him forever.
Yeah.
Has the neighborhood changed a lot since you moved in here?
No,
I doubt it.
Really?
not really.
No, not really. Man.
No,
Oh.
no. A lot of the homes are the same place and had not changed. They didn't upgrade them or anything. I mean, there's a couple new homes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but that's it.
But even like the neighbors next door, I mean, their family's been in Jermyn forever.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Were you able to talk to his father and mom?
No,
By chance? No?
Betty didn't want to do it.
Oh yeah.
No, and couldn't talk her and Don into doing it. I
Yeah.
wanted to get Tom Usher before he passed away, and we missed him. We missed Carol McCarthy before she passed away, and
Right.
Gerard Hosey. We were going to go out, interview him, and he passed away. So we're trying to get as many as we can, and could get trying to get their
stories,
much
yeah.
of the
Yeah.
stories are growing up, so that we don't lose them for future generations.
Yeah.
Right.
Did she tell you that this used to be a greenhouse?
Yeah. He already knew.
I asked her that, and she
Yeah.
didn't remember.
She didn't
Yeah,
remember.
because
Yeah.
This
It was
used-
way before they owned it. though.
this was
Yeah.
Burton's
Yeah.
Burton's greenhouse,
Oh yeah.
and it was here, and then it went all. The greenhouse was
Down by the high school.
all the way down to
Yeah.
the
This
towards the high
house,
school.
you mean, or where this house is? Or
Where this
Yeah.
house was the main house
Yeah.
for greenhouse.
Then the garage down the alley actually used to be next door over here, but when Jermyn flooded way back when, or no, the mine subsided.
Mine subsided.
Yeah.
And they moved it right across the alley. They spun it, moved it across the alley.
Wow.
Yeah.
And didn't you tell me her and Grandpa got married in this house?
No, not my grandfather. I think. Right,
Oh.
Grandpa and Mom got married in this house.
What?
Who got married in this house? Who got married here?
Oh boy.
Sue and Martin did. Your daughter and son-in-law.
And
They
Aunt
got
Debbie
married
and Uncle
there.
Bud?
Huh?
Aunt Debbie and Uncle Bud?
I suppose a lot of people.
No, I'm going back years ago. Was it your grandparent, your mother and father? They get married here?
My who?
Mother and father.
Did they get married here?
Here in the house.
Yeah.
Who got married in the house?
Mm-mm. They could have gotten married
Yeah.
here.
I know Sue and Martin did.
My mind is shut.
Was there any funerals in this house? Did they ever have any wakes in this house?
Pardon?
Any funerals in the house? In this house? Did they ever have any wakes?
Grandpa's.
Yeah, we just had a family.
Did you have any funerals in this house from the house that you
I
remember?
don't think so.
Just for my dad, we had like just a family here with
Yeah.
Reverend Davis.
They didn't have the body here, did they?
No,
No,
no, he was
no.
See, they
cremated.
did in my house.
Back
They
in the
had a
old
pile.
days, they used to do that. You know,
Yeah.
they didn't
My
want to
house
spend the
would-
money to
Oh
go.
yeah, they did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Frank Tancredo did that with his son. Actually, he was in the
Yeah.
house.
Do you remember the old Welsh church that was over on Madison Avenue at all?
Was it right around the corner?
It was over on the other side of Rushbrook Street. The next block after the Catholic church going towards Mayfield.
Yeah, it was right on the end of an alley going up.
No, that's the Primitive Methodist, but there was another one on Madison Avenue. It was an old Welsh church. I was wondering if you remember the stained glass windows and what it looked like or anything like that. No?
Oh, I can't remember that.
Well, it wasn't a church when you were around. I was just wondering if the windows were still there, if you remember.
Oh,
because it was already stopped being a church by then. You know, by the time you were here,
When did it stop, Bruce?
1912.
Yeah.
Oh, oh wow.
But
Yeah.
I was wondering if
You
anybody.
probably born around there.
But I'm just wondering if they, how long after that they left the windows in,
Yeah.
and if
yeah.
anybody can remember what they look like, because we
Right.
don't have a picture of it, the building,
Right.
and we're trying to find anybody
Anybody that has anything
that can
on it,
remember that the before they tore the windows out.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't think of much more.
No. No.
You got
Unless
any
you
more
have any-
things
No.
that she told you that you might remember? Or that
I'm getting like her at my old age, so.
you're not that old.
No, I just kidding, brother.
All right. Well, thank you, and nice
Hopefully
seeing you
somehow.
again.
You're welcome for what I could do.
Well, we'll get a copy of
When
this.
I think of things, I'll write them down.
Write them down. Give them to Chris, and he'll get them to us. You have any old pictures of the family that we could take pictures of and scan? He does this.
Yeah, there's a couple in here actually.
And I have